views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche, every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll share some fun events the whole family can enjoy in this week's Open Weekend Preview. And after that, we'll learn about a unique book signing and album release event helping the Child Life Development Program at Montefiore Hospital. Next up, we have South Bronx Cribs, a film project featuring stories representing the South Bronx community that shares a closer look into, and we're going to share a closer look into one of the final projects. And that later on in the show, Bobby C. brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And finally, our Open Artist Spotlight features comedian and actor Rob Torres. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is coming your way because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, you know, of course, while you're there, don't forget to follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Insta Stories at Rina Valentin. Okay, it's that time again. Yay, we're gonna make sure you have some time to get your pen and paper for today's Open Weekend Preview. First up, First Fridays in collaboration with the Moth. Everyone has a story to tell, and at this unique experience, audience members can put their name in the Moth hat, that is, to enter for a chance to tell a 5-minute story related to the theme. And the theme for this particular evening will be belonging. So make sure you get your creative juices brewing to participate this Friday, June 2nd, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Bronx Museum of the Arts, located on 1040 Grand Concourse in the Bronx. And for more information, visit bronxmuseum.org/event. Next up, to check out Figment Festival. Figment NYC is a free, inclusive, and participatory arts event on Governor's Island. In this family-friendly event, adults and kids alike will have the opportunity to actively engage with the art and thus creating a dynamic collaboration between the artist, the audience, and the environment. All this artsy fun is taking place 2 days, that's right, 2 days, Saturday, June 3rd and Sunday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Governor's Island. And ferries leave from both Pier 6 in Brooklyn and 10 South Street in Lower Manhattan. And for more information, visit govisland.com/events. And finally, to check out China Institute Children's Book Festival in honor of International Children's Day and in conjunction with Book Expo America and BookCon. This literary festival by China Institute will celebrate some of the most beloved Chinese children's stories. Activities include puppet shows, book readings, pop-up exhibits, and more. And this is taking place on Sunday, June 4th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the China Institute, located on 40 Rector Street in Manhattan. For more information, visit chinainstitute.org/events. And there you have it. Lots to do, so make sure you get out and explore. Okay, so Outcasts, it's women in the wilderness, excuse me, I don't know what's going on today, an exhibit at Wave Hill curated to recognize female artists whose work explore the resistance and empowerment of women. BronxNet reporter Arlene Makoko has the story.
And so we have two really interesting programs going on. We have a conversation with our guest curators and three of the artists that's taking place in Armour Hall.
Outcast Women in the Wilderness opened at Wave Hill, featuring these internationally recognized artists whose handpicked works explore inclusion, resistance, and empowerment in a show inspired by the work of late pioneering feminist artist Nancy Spiro.
She passed away a number of years, but she was an early feminist artist. And so she worked from the 1950s through 2009 when she passed away.
That was 2009, now buried at Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. The director of programs there, a co-curator of this exhibition, Harry Weil, approached Frizzell 3 years ago, and the results are being seen today.
We were really inspired by what was happening with women in the world today and how we discuss women and issues of womanhood throughout the world globally.
So you're gonna see a lot of game in my work about this balance of beauty and pain. But it's, you better be careful because I'm a warrior.
Feiku is Taiwan-born and based in Brooklyn, and Samira Abbasi was born in Awaz, Iran, raised in London, England, and today is a New Yorker. A fan of Spiro, she talked about the theme of the program.
I don't see it as like, alone and desperate. It's more like it's a psychological removal in order to be more objective.
Her work includes this one, an autobiographical confession through effigies, idols, and martyrs.
There are figures that relate to motherhood, matrimony, recovery, illness, and so on.
This is before, of course, the internet, before Amazon, and we lived in neighborhoods with a few people of color.
Feiku shared her experience growing up here in the U.S. and her efforts to bridge that with her past.
So I pretty much created a worldview that had certain stories but borrowed from the visual elements that surrounded my life, and I think a lot of my work comes out of that.
I am an outcast, not because I have been cast out.
The program was followed by Outcasts Using Her Voice, featuring host Jane Gabriel's Caridad de la Luz, who created an original composition based on artwork in the exhibition. Mahogany L. Brown did the same.
When the country is not a country, but a dirt pile waiting for blood.
It's artists who use their voices. They use that creativity to bring forward the roles of women, the voices of women, the emotions of women.
There was the artwork of Samira Abbasi that I couldn't get it out of my mind, and I was jokingly saying that it haunted me, but it actually was haunting. It was just something that I found fascinating. And another thing she used was eyes, like eyes in her artwork. So it inspired me to write an original piece called Eyes of an Outcast.
Women that stand up for themselves and for their community and for others, they are considered outcasts because they are not going, the route that we were conditioned to believe was ladylike. They're not just going with the flow and not challenging these systems that have been set up to keep us oppressed. So when I think of outcasts and the reason that I'm here, I think of it as a celebration, as a reclamation of power and femininity.
Poet Natalie Caro's work addressed the recent policies on immigration and women and the cultural fascination with Disney films. And filmmaker Jess X. Snow, who identifies as Chinese American, looked at border walls and gender.
I also identify as queer, and I've been writing a series of poems about the Chinese photographer Ren Han, who's a queer photographer, and he took his own life like a month ago. So I've been writing poems in response to his images.
Somebody actually, one of my fellow poet friends, told me that poets are like reporters, right? We're like the reporters of society, and we report on what's happening, and sort of ask the community to sort of engage in a dialogue with us about what are the things that are ailing our society.
the wilderness is outcast, but I feel like it's also, you know, it's cultivating you in some way. I don't know. I just don't. It's fine. Like it's another platform to explore from.
Don't miss it. Women in the Wilderness will be here on the grounds of Wave Hill through July 9th. For more information, you can go to wavehill.org. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
How lovely. Thank you, Arlene Makoko. We have to take a break, but we'll have more open right after this.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me too at Rena Valentine. So the Child Life Department of the Children's Hospital at Montefiore helps families make their child stay at the hospital a little bit more enjoyable. And so our next guest will be featured in an upcoming fundraiser for the Child Life Development Program. And we're going to welcome Yonit Jermish Sedano, author of Moving with Mommy, and Christopher Cleach, musician of Tougher Tunes.
Correct.
Hello. And did I get the names right? Almost.
Pretty close.
Pretty close? Oh my goodness. We were practicing that for so long and I thought I got it right. So it's Yonit.
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 Yes.
Yonit?
And Christopher.
Well, yeah, we're just going to stick to the Christopher. But welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for your efforts in, I guess, providing a safer, more enjoyable space for children when they're under health care. So let's talk a little bit about what inspired this.
Well, I'm a personal trainer here in the Bronx. I work a lot with moms, young moms, and their kids together. And, you know, the health and wellness of our kids and the parents, obviously, also. It's something that we always talk about, introducing exercise and working out as part of our lifestyle. And personally, I have a client who, when she was a child, she was hospitalized at Montefiore, and she remembers her staying there and how the Child Life Department came and made her staying there a little more normalized and with her siblings to make it a little more fun.
So how old was this?
She was 15 at the time. She actually just got married, so she still is very involved with the department, and she still talks about it. And it's part of her, you know, life.
Right.
And that's my connection to that department, and bringing health and wellness and celebrating life. I think it just goes hand in hand to that
Yes.
hospital.
No, it's
yeah,
all.
yeah,
No, it's great. No, it's great. I was just caught up in visualizing. I'm here
Yeah.
like with you because I was just visualizing the impact that it had on an individual and how sometimes we take for granted that the hospital is just the place you go when you're sick, but it's really the place you go to when you need to heal. And so, right?
Exactly.
And I mean, it's the same thing, but there's other components that come to it, like such as having your family visit, and of course, if you have the staff there, or you have members such as yourself contributing in whatever way to just ease the process, it's wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about how you two got together, because you wrote a book and you are a performer, right? Are you
a musician? Yeah,
You're right,
composer.
but you perform within the hospital rooms?
No, I don't.
No. So what exactly do you do?
Well, I'm a Manny, so I take care of kids. So I know the importance of kids, and of course they're important, but
I love that term.
But
I've never heard that term.
Nanny?
I'm a nanny. Yes.
A male nanny.
I got that, but I just love the term nanny. Yes.
So I've taken care of kids over 20 years, and I've noticed that their music sometimes is dumbed down, is not great, and it of course drives adults crazy.
Right.
And so
You mean it drives you crazy, right?
it drives me crazy.
Yeah, 'cause
Anyone
you're
who
like, okay,
listens
what's
to it,
right,
it's just like, oh, I don't want to listen to that
well,
again.
come to think of it, as I always questioned like some of the lullabies. They're rather violent. If
Yeah,
you listen
some are.
to
Yeah.
the terms and the lyrics, I'm like, who came up with this?
Right.
So all right, so let's talk about your music now.
So what I did is noticing there was a lack of great quality music for children, being a musician and composer, I decided to create an album of children's music that's on a high level for them, but that's also not going to be crazy for parents to listen to. So it lifts the children's up as opposed to dumbing down to what we think children should have. And I nanny for one of her clients, and so through a collaboration, we decided to create a fundraiser event for children using the things that we've actually created for children to promote our things, but then also as a fundraiser.
Exactly.
So I got an idea. I have kind of sort of an idea of what you're talking about, but not really, because you're like, oh, we want to elevate versus dumb it down. So I don't know what that actually means in the sense of, okay, is it educational from a place of entertaining the adults simultaneously? Like, just
Well,
give
yeah,
me
it
an
kind
idea.
of does that too. So like, for example, I've created a song that uses Little Boy Blue, the nursery rhyme we know.
Right.
Which is just kind of a nursery rhyme. So I created music to it that's like in the style of like Andrews Sisters, like a big band style. So it's fun and jazzy, and so it's just a more adult.
Something the whole family can enjoy.
I got it. I got it.
Would
Once
enjoy
he said
it.
it's jazzy, I was like,
Yes.
oh yeah, we got boom, ba, 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 and all that
Yeah,
jazz.
so it's not just like a
So
little-
it became a musical.
So parents love it too as much as the kids.
Love it. I
So,
love it.
yes,
I love it.
yeah.
Now let's talk about your book.
So
Let me see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's called Moving with Mommy.
Uh-huh.
Inspired by my kids and my stroller boot camp. I work a lot, like I said, with moms and their babies and toddlers in the Bronx. As a mom, when I became a mom, I found it very hard to exercise. I can't just go to the gym for an hour or two whenever I wanted to. So I had to incorporate my exercise with my kids.
Right.
And it actually became like fun time for them. And that's what this book is about. So there's a little different things that you can do, from yoga and dance and running, everything that you can do at your house or in the park. Very creative.
So it's kind of like almost like a guide
It's a poem,
of
yes.
some sort.
So it's a
that-
poem from a
Mhm.
kid's point of view, actually. And then at the end, there is a guide of how to do the exercise in the right form so they don't injure themselves.
And we make it fun so
Yes,
that it's
exactly.
not. So in our heads as adults,
Yes.
it's not work.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a bonding. It's also a bonding thing.
Absolutely,
Yes,
it's,
yes,
it's
yes, yes.
great quality time.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I'm so with you. How old are your kids now?
My kids are now 6 and 4.
6 and 4. Okay,
Yes.
so she's still going through it.
Yeah.
And so
Oh yeah.
mine is 7, and I understand what you're talking about, right? Because for me, working out, one of the other factors in working out is like there's a guilt that comes with leaving them in somebody's care for yourself to go and work out. It's a mommy thing. It's a mommy thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna leave them in someone else's care, so I go and work on my body. of course, we should be working on our body, but it makes it even more worthwhile when you're
together.
Yes, and not only that, you're
and they
teaching
see
them
it,
really
and
good
exactly, they're
habits.
exposed to exercising and working out from a young age, and it's like I said, it's a fun playtime for them.
So in here, I saw something related to the rain. So what do you do when it's raining outside?
So if we like, you can do a home video with your kids, or just do stuff at home, lunges and squats and push-ups, everything you can do anywhere. You don't really need a gym, you know. Yeah.
This is nice. This is it's really
Thank you.
nice looking too.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's like almost like our version of a Bronx Wonder Woman, an urban woman. All right.
And every mom who works out finds the time, or just being a mom is Wonder Woman, in my opinion. You know, yes.
I'm with
yes.
you. I'm so there with
Yeah.
you. Stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, before we go, let's talk a little bit about your event that's going to be coming up.
So next Sunday, here in the Bronx and Riverdale, we are gathering our clients, our friends, our family. We're going to have a full theme of wellness and exercise and music. We're also going to have snacks, making snacks together with kids and their moms together, healthy options for families to introduce to their own kitchen. We're going to have a performance by Chris. We're going to do a reading, and all the money for the tickets will go to Child Life Department.
And this is all ages.
Yeah.
Toddlers, specifically
Families?
toddlers, yes, young families, yes.
Specifically toddlers.
Yes.
That's really who you're targeting.
Because this is what we work with.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
Right. But everybody's welcome.
Everyone's-
Even the adult children.
Oh yes, yes.
We're all children.
yes.
Forever young.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Chris. Yonit.
Yonit. Almost, yes. It's okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Once again, you guys, the book signing and album release fundraiser will take place on Sunday, June 11th at 4 p.m. at 3620 Oxford Avenue in the Bronx. For more information on how you can help, you can email Yonit at yonitfitness.com. All right, and this is the book, and here's the CD that I'm sure you can get online as well at
Amazon for me.
at amazon.com. All right, you guys, we're taking a quick break, but we'll be back with more Open after this.
One thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Live with a human for a while, and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she does strange tricks for no treats. But the one thing I will never, for the life of me, know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Open. I didn't realize you were there already. Anywho, Faith Newman is part of Reservoir Media, one of the world's fastest growing independent music publishers and songwriting incubators. And so Faith is credited, to helping develop hip hop legends such as LL Cool J, the Fugees, and Big L. Let's take a look at her story.
My name is Faith Newman. I am the Senior Vice President of A&R and Catalog Development at Reservoir, a music publishing company. I do two things here, and that's why my title is A&R and Catalog Development, because I sign current artists, writers, producers, but I also sign catalogs, like historic catalogs. The stuff that I sign most recently would be Migos. I signed 2 Chainz, I signed Joey Badass, I signed a group called Phanogram. I started as an intern when I was 16. For a concert promoter in Philadelphia, where I grew up. Then I moved to New York to go to college, go to NYU, and I got an internship when I was 19 at Columbia Records, and that led to me getting a job at Def Jam when I was 20 years old. It was incredible. I was one of the first 5 people hired, the first woman hired. I didn't sleep a lot, but you know, when you're that age, you don't really need a lot of sleep. Def Jam had the biggest acts signed to label. It's just Public Enemy, LL Cool J, Slick Rick, Beastie Boys. I mean, we were hip hop. The Bronx was the foundation of all of this, with Kool Herc and Bambaataa, and it was an amazing time. I decided that I wanted to have the experience of going to a major label. Going to Columbia, the idea was for me to create a hip hop division within Columbia proper, to make their own mark in the hip hop culture. I signed Nas my second week on the job at Columbia. Nobody thought that hip hop would become as big as it's become. And then again with Nas, you know, people were excited, but they were saying it was taking so long to put the record out, the record's never gonna come out, it's like it's a wasted moment and all this stuff, but I knew that once it did, it would, you know, change people's lives, so, and it did. But I found that doing A&R at publishing, you know, at a publishing company is kind of the same as doing it as a label. It's so easy to kind of do it yourself now, or to go to just a distributor. There's so many different places you can put your music. So I guess my mantra is to just really go with my gut about something, see what it can become. But you still always need a good publisher, in my mind.
And welcome back to the studio. Impressive, Faith Newman. Yes, okay, so now we're gonna shoot on over to the South Bronx Cribs. That's right. It's actually a project that was inspired by the MTV show Cribs to represent the South Bronx residents and their community. And so the projects are now complete and will be shown at an upcoming screening. And joining us now to share more, we welcome the project director of South Bronx Cribs, Lucia de la Paolera, along with filmmaker Esther Gonzalez. Hello and welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We had you on when this project was first being initiated, and now you're at completion.
Yes.
Well, how did that go?
It's been a really fun and challenging process. So we started the workshops in the fall, and basically, as you said, the initial inspiration for the show was the show MTV Cribs, and the idea was to take residents from the neighborhood of all ages. So we actually had participants from 17 to 71 years old. So we have really diverse perspectives, and to have them represent
71.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
cool. How many people did you choose?
There were 10 all in all, and
Okay.
basically they were a self-selected group. So I know Esther called me because she found a flyer on a lamppost with my phone number on it, and
Right.
just called me up. So whoever wanted to take the workshops could, all levels of experience, and the idea was for them to shoot these kind of home tours and to represent their homes and their neighborhood on their own terms. You know, the South Bronx is often written about really negatively in the mainstream press, so I thought, why not let people here talk about it themselves?
Right, from authentic voices.
Exactly.
And so did you train them to?
Yes.
Okay,
we
so
had a
tell me
series
about
of
the
workshops.
process a little bit.
Exactly. So we had instructors, and they learned the basics of using the camera. It was a Canon 7D, and of editing and of shooting. But the really interesting thing was we had this idea that it would be like MTV Cribs, but then the participants came, and of course, they had their own ideas, and they ended up being a lot more powerful and in-depth than what I imagined. So it made the process a lot harder in a certain way, because people made in-depth documentaries. but it made it a lot more interesting.
So it's not a show, rather the documentary is because you're going to do like a little mini festival of some sort, right?
Yes, we're
but
doing
it's
a
not all related to just being at the crib.
No, there are a few that are like that, but
Right.
some of them, Esther's especially, are much more in depth. And
So leading into Esther's story, let's just say, and I just want to acknowledge you because what you did was you woke up the artistry within these individuals, right? Having them design a documentary around whatever passion or whatever they hold passionate
Right.
in their process. And I know, and I say artistry just because we deal with stories, or we have stories. We all have our own stories in our head, and they either sit there or you do something about it. And Esther's chosen this platform to do something about it. And now we're ready to hear your story, Esther.
I decided to do the project on my brother's because he was convicted 25 years to life of a murder that he didn't even commit.
Right. And so, how long has he been incarcerated right now?
He's been in 12 years already.
He's been in 12 years. So you've been sitting for 12 years knowing that your brother has been falsely arrested and you can't do anything about it.
Right, we can't do anything about it. He's spoken to like many people, and a lot of people just didn't want to hear his story, so I figured this is the opportunity to like help him get his story out there.
It's a wonderful way to also for yourself to release the injustice.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
And so, but why can't you guys do something about it? What is it that I guess got him falsely convicted?
He had a court-appointed lawyer who didn't do his job. I mean, we didn't pay for a lawyer, so the case wasn't, I guess, taken, seriously. They didn't have like evidence to convict him, and it's just, he's in there.
It was kind of like an open shut case. It was like, okay, this is evidence, and
they just needed to lock someone up, and it was my brother.
I'm so sorry.
It's a long story behind it, but
I
it's
could
just
feel,
like,
I could feel your hurt and your pain and your anger too. So, what did this inspire you to create in documentary style?
I just want to help him.
What does your story entail? The story that you captured. You joined this project, right? And it was supposed to be about your home. So I'm curious, like how it ties into your brother's story.
We did phone interviews with him.
Okay.
We, shot like where the murder took place, like in Brooklyn, and it's just a little bit of.
We drove up to Sing Sing together, actually.
We drove up to the prison and.
Okay, so I'm looking at some images right now, and I see the film's name is Innocence and Freedom, and we saw an image of you in the car. We saw images of his documentary. So, sorry, not his documentary, his documents, I guess.
Yeah.
And so you drove up to Sing Sing. So this is coming from your perspective of your suffering in trying to find a way to get your brother out. Right, I just summed it up. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get out of you. And so, what do you hope to do with this?
I'm hoping to, get his story out so that we can be able to like raise money to get him a lawyer, a paid lawyer, someone who, will really like look into his case and look for all these evidence to help him come home.
And so, with you and just your amazing selfless work that you're doing for the community, well, the thing is that you're giving these people a voice, and while we all have voices, we're not all documented, and our thoughts are not documented, and so you've given them that outlet, and now you've become her advocate, and so what are you doing here?
I guess I started with this premise, and it was really an experiment. And you have, as an artist, you have an idea and a vision, and mine was to create this kind of tapestry of South Bronx homes. And then you see when other people come into it, for them, home can mean something much bigger than just like, this is my furniture, this is my kitchen, these are the pictures of my family. For her, this is something she lives with every day, and for her to tell her story, this is what's important to her. So for me, like, as an artist, my role just changed completely, and that's been really interesting to just try to facilitate and make all of the projects are so different and required completely different kinds of of work and commitment. Hers may have been the most challenging to do, actually.
Why was hers the most challenging?
She had a hard time getting like interviews from a lot of people. Didn't want to be involved or didn't want to be on camera about this, so we ended up having to be really creative. We did like a mock courtroom scene. We had another participant actually act like the lawyer, and Esther read her aunt's testimony, and I was the judge. So we had to get really creative with telling the story that's so complicated. And I think is a story that a lot of people are living with now. It's a really topical issue. Like, you know, we're trying to help Orlando, her brother, but at the same time, there's so many cases like his. So we're trying to raise awareness in general.
So your brother's Orlando Gonzalez?
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, hopefully we're all helping Orlando Gonzalez get rightfully released.
Yes.
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, no, and congratulations to you both. Before we go, let's talk really quickly. Can you share with everyone when this festival is going to take place?
The screening will be, the first screening will be June 8th at Bronx Art Space, which is in the South Bronx. And it will be at 7:30 p.m. It's open to the public, 7:30, and then we're going to have a Q&A with the artists and an after party. So
wonderful, and
everyone's
you
invited.
may even recruit new people.
Yes.
So it's a good place to be. It's great work. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
All right, and once again, you guys, the South Bronx Cribs screening will take place on Thursday, June 8th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. at Bronx Art Space, located on 305 East 140th Street in the Bronx. And for more information, you can RSVP lucia.delapaulera@gmail.com. That's lucia.delapaulera@gmail.com. Okay, we're taking a quick break, but don't go anywhere. There's more Open coming up next.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
A thrilling finish in the Indianapolis 500 and history to boot. I honestly don't think there is a tougher event to forecast than the greatest spectacle in racing. Takuma Sato held off three-time winner Elio Castroneves in the sixth closest finish in the race's history. Sato won the Indy 500 in thrilling fashion, earning his second career IndyCar Series victory. Only two Americans finished in the top 8 on Sunday, with drivers from Brazil and Colombia among other countries finishing in the top 10. He became the first Japanese driver to win the 500. Last year's champ Alexander Rossi finished 7th, and the namesake Marco Andretti finished 8th. From the pole, Scott Dixon had a terrible crash but lived to tell the story, while two-time Formula One champion, another expected top 5 finisher in my book. Fernando Alonso was among the leaders down the backstretch, but his engine gave out in lap 180 of 200. In the end, Sato picked up a check for more than $2.45 million for winning Sunday's Indianapolis 500. In the days after, a Denver Post reporter was fired for a racist tweet regarding Sato's win, while Andretti Autosport took to Facebook to address racist posts that users have published on the racing team's page. Make no mistake about it, Sato has been close on several occasions and deserved more of a look from us all. The 40-year-old is a very good race car driver. In NASCAR, a surprise of its own on Sunday in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Austin Dillon earned his first Cup Series win. He, too, took a beating in social media, criticized as a fuel mileage fluke. Many have called him a punk, others a fortunate son. They're angry that Dillon did not immediately note the history of his number 3 car, which hasn't made it to victory lane since Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s final win at Talladega in October 2000. Some were also angry at his post-race burnout and his celebratory dab. Nonetheless, plenty of celebrating for Dillon and Sato on Sunday. The two silenced the haters. Sebastian Vettel beat his Ferrari teammate Kimi Raikkonen to win the Monaco Grand Prix on Sunday and comfortably extend his lead at the top of the standings to 25 points. It was the 4-time F1 champion's 3rd win of the season and 45th of his career, as well as Ferrari's first in Monaco since Michael Schumacher, Vettel's childhood idol, in 2001. It was a bad weekend for Mercedes, with Lewis Hamilton, who is second behind Vettel in the standings, finishing 7th after starting from 13th because of a poor qualifying session. IndyCar rolls into Detroit this weekend. NASCAR will be in Dover, and F1 will head to Canada for next weekend's Grand Prix. I may not feel great about my Indy 500 picks, but so far so good in the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals. The Golden State Warriors stayed perfect in the postseason Thursday night. The Warriors were dominant in Game 1, defeating defending champ Cleveland 113-91. Kevin Durant's 38 points headlined the win. He became just the 4th NBA player to score at least 25 points in his first 6 NBA Finals games. Durant attacked the rim relentlessly all night for Golden State, which entered the series 12-0 this postseason after posting 4 game sweeps in each of the previous 3 rounds. Durant threw down 6 dunks and racked up 23 points alone before halftime. Game 2 of the series is Sunday. From the NHLites, Pittsburgh is 2 wins away from winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. The Pens lead Nashville 2-0 in the finals. Game 3 is Saturday in Nashville. Game 4 is Monday. Chase Anderson pitched 7 shutout innings, and the Brewers benefited temporarily anyway when a Milwaukee bat boy bumped into Mets infielder Wilmer Flores on a foul pop-up Thursday in a 2-1 victory over New York. Scoring runs was not much of a problem for the Mets in May, but they were below 500 for the month because the team's battered rotation struggled mightily. The Mets will stay in Flushing this weekend for the final 3 games of the homestand. The club welcomes Pittsburgh to Citi Field. CC Sabathia won his 4th consecutive start. Aaron Hicks had a career-high 6 RBI, and Gary Sanchez homered twice to lead the New York Yankees over the Toronto Blue Jays 12-2 on Thursday night. Last week we featured Yankees Hope Week on the show. Pretty cool. Stay here. The Yankees, stat here, the Yankees are 31-12 during Hope Week in the 9 years of existence. In May, the Yankees cooled off a little bit from their play in April, but still finished the month atop the American League East. While the starting pitching faltered a little bit, the bats produced at a top 10 level. Aaron Judge has more than tapped into his prodigious power in his rookie season. His 17 homers have an average true distance of 410.1 feet. Home run derby for Judge at the All-Star break? Well, it looks like if nothing else, Judge will be in the All-Star game itself. Only major concern right now for the Yankees is Masahiro Tanaka. Once considered New York's ace, the starter is now the problem for a promising club after going 0-4 with an 11.21 ERA in his past 4 games. Tough times for Masahiro Tanaka. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. Golf legend Tiger Woods made headlines this week for his DUI arrest. It was at first presumed because of alcohol, but it appears medication caused Woods to fall asleep at the wheel. Sadly, it's becoming more and more clear that injuries and off-the-course issues could mean we'll never see Woods at his best again. On the NFL gridiron, the New York Giants and their standout defense think that they could be better this year. There are areas the Giants defense could certainly improve. The 2 most significant stats were they did not grade out well last season. They go hand in hand. Passing yards per game and sacks per pass attempt. They finished 23rd in both categories. Big Blue won 11 games last year, but odds makers see the Giants at less than 40% chance of making the playoffs this year. That's 7th best in the NFC. The Jets announced their training camp schedule. Players report on July 28th. The first of 8 public practices is July 31st. The green and white practice scrimmage is August 5th at MetLife Stadium. All practices will be at their facility in Florham Park, New Jersey. There are no practices on Long Island this year. The Jets have traded safety Calvin Pryor for Browns linebacker Demario Davis, a source confirmed. Davis played with the Jets from 2012 to 2015. The Jets had been trying to trade Pryor since the draft when they picked Jamal Adams in the first round. The Jets' massive rebuilding project, which on Thursday saw Calvin Pryor off to the Browns, is about as much about attitude as it is about production. The Jets' current regime has now dumped 3 former first-round picks from prior regimes: defensive end Quentin Coples, corner D. Milner, and now Pryor. Jets legend Joe Namath celebrated his 74th birthday this past week. Broadway Joe was only 25 when he walked into the Orange Bowl with his trademark white cleats and stunned the Colts in Super Bowl III. His popularity remains very strong here in New York. Brooklyn Nets star Brook Lopez remains strong in his dedication to the organization. Lopez says he wants to stay in the BK and that he remains all in with the Nets. Meanwhile, the Knicks are talking possible trade for Portland's first-round draft pick. The Knicks have been in talks with the Trailblazers about acquiring one of Portland's first-round picks, a source confirmed to ESPN. The Knicks have workouts scheduled with at least one player pegged for a mid to late first-round pick in UNC's Justin Jackson, and are looking to acquire a second first-rounder to add to the pick that they currently own, the number 8 overall pick. Portland owns the 15th, the 20th, and 26th overall picks. The Knicks and Blazers discussions were first reported by the Sporting News. Fight fans, UFC 212 goes down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil this weekend. Aldo vs. Holloway will headline the card. In the MLS, NYCFC tied the New England Revolution 2-2 Wednesday. They will face Philadelphia Saturday. The Red Bulls, coming off a 2-1 win over the Revolution, will face Montreal on Saturday. The New York Liberty have opened the season with a 2-3 record. They host Dallas tonight at the Garden. The Liberty will try and snap a 2-game skid. Mr. Met made an obscene gesture at fans during Wednesday night's contest, and the Mets said the person in that role during Wednesday's game will not work in that costume again. Although Mr. Met doesn't have 5 fingers, the mascot did a good job of using the middle one to express himself. Troubling first half of the season for the New York Mets. The NBA Finals is far from over, but it certainly looks like Golden State has hit its stride, and Kevin Durant made it clear this week that he is willing to take less than the maximum contract extension he is eligible for this summer as a 10-year veteran if it helps the Warriors keep the core of their team intact. Durant's gesture would allow the Warriors to keep their entire core together for years to come. That's even if star point guard Steph Curry signs one of the first 5-year Supermax contracts under the new collective bargaining agreement, in which a team can reward one designated veteran per year with a contract starting at 35% of next year's projected $100 million salary cap. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a quick NBA Finals thought. So after watching Game 1 of the series, I've come to the conclusion that the best player for Cleveland in the opener was not LeBron James, but rather #1 fan, singer Rihanna. Rihanna, a huge James fan, heckled Durant, even yelling "brick" on a free throw. Durant was later seen in the game staring the singer down. Asked about reportedly staring back at the pop star, Durant said he didn't remember doing it. He said, "I'm cool. Have fun with that." Yes, Riri was more intimidating than James and the Cavs in Game 1. It looks like revenge, not repeat, is in store for the 3rd installment of this trilogy. Rena, I think if Rihanna really wants to throw Durant off his game, she should sing from the sidelines. Screeching. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one. Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight.
The Open Artist Spotlight is made possible in part with public funds from the Bronx Council on the Arts through the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program.
This week's Spotlight shines on a comedian and actor from the South Bronx as the 12th of 13 children, ouch, in a Puerto Rican family. He persevered in one of the city's toughest neighborhoods. That's right, BX, baby. Mostly known for his roles in One Life to Live, Michael Clayton, and What Would You Do? He now hosts a comedy night here in the Bronx called Ahora Mismo at Evo Lounge. And here now to give us a taste in our Open Artist stage, we welcome actor, comedian, Rob Torres.
Thank you. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Good morning. All right. So I'm happy to be here. I just want to introduce myself, so I'm just gonna give you a few minutes. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rob Torres. So I'm a comedian, and besides doing comedy, I also have done some acting professionally. I also have done some modeling, and I also have done some voiceover work. Yeah, that's a fancy way of saying I'm unemployed. I'm living this struggling artist lifestyle, and living in New York, you have to have a roommate. Let me tell you about my roommate. My roommate is terrible, okay? My roommate doesn't want to pay any bills. We're always arguing about money. You know, this has been going on for a while, for like months. You know, so we had a big fight this week, and I told my roommate, if you don't get a job, I'm going to kick you out, Mom. She was like, no, Demi, please, why you do this to me? So, Mom, you have to help me out cashing that Social Security. I love you, Ma. I'm kidding, Ma. Yeah, you know, so I'm trying to get parts in movies, and I just linked up with this agent, and my agent told me to start this new diet. Maybe you have heard of it. It's called poverty. Yeah, the struggle is real, you know. But you know, like showbiz is really competitive, you know, it's really competitive. It has me really subconscious about like what I'm doing on stage, you know, how I'm dressed, and also got me thinking about age discrimination. You know, I'm afraid to tell my age and fear I won't get a job. You know, it's got so bad it carried over to dating. Like on a date, I can't tell my age, so I tell my age range. She'd be like, hi, I'm Lisa, I'm a model, I'm 18, how about you? I'm like, hi, I'm Rob, I'm an actor, I play 25 to 35 on TV. Oh man, I just want to like share a real story with you. You know, stand-up comedy saved my life, to be honest. You know, stand-up comedy have saved my life. You know, but to be honest, stand-up comedy helped me overcome stuttering. You know, I was a severe stutterer. I had like, you know, I was like, you know, I could like hardly speak. I was like really bad. You know what I'm saying? It was like so bad, you know, it used to like, you know, I kind of was like almost like mildly retarded, you know, it used to take me like 2 years to say my name. Be like, yo, my name is Robert Torres. And yeah, it's crazy. So I'm much better now. But, you know, so it's kind of ironic. I'm telling the jokes now because I was the joke in school. Remember, like, mother jokes? We told mother jokes in school. You remember mother jokes, right? Your mother's so dumb, she tried to get to the 4 train, so she took the 2 train twice. And then it was my turn. Okay, yo. I'm saying it's my turn. Your mother's so she's old. Guys is like, oh my God, of course she's old, taking so long. She was young when you started the joke. Yeah, you know, I was like having trouble fitting in as a kid. You know how like normal kids went to like summer camp? I went to stutter camp. I mean, thank you. Late reaction, thank you. People are awake in the audience. People awake in the studio here. Just testing you. But yeah, I was having trouble fitting in, you know, man. But it looked like a regular summer camp. It was beautiful. It had a nice Olympic-sized pool, a diving board, and a sauna. But I never got to use it, you know, because I took my towels and bathing suit to speech therapy because we were on up spitting on each other. Peter. Piper, pick the pack. Peter Piper, Peter Piper. Peter Piper picked the pack of pickled pepper. Pack of Peter Piper picked the pack of Peter Peppers. Pack. It was real great. It was real great. It was real great. All right. I just came just to do a few minutes. You can follow me at all social media at Rob Torres Comedy, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you very much, Open. Thank you for having me.
Torres! We were a little delayed. We got caught up in the delay of the stuttering.
Yes. Yes.
He was like, okay, that was a delayed laugh.
Thank you for catching it. Thank you for catching it. Paying attention. I was testing you. You guys caught on. You caught on.
Awesome, awesome. We have an audience here, our viewers, just in case you're wondering. It's like, yeah, you know, we don't have a camera on them, but we have real people in the audience. So.
Yes. Yes, there's an audience. I'm not performing in front of a mirror or by myself. There's people here.
Well, you know what I was curious to know? Is like, what's
studio.
over there? That he kept looking over there. I'm going, but we're over here. Why is he over there? Which one of the girls over there caught your attention?
I was trying to
No.
engage
You
everybody.
kept going over there, and I'm going, but who is he looking at?
No, I kept looking at the serious one.
Oh, is that okay? The serious one.
Yeah, I was
He was
trying to
make
stay
her laugh.
focused.
Of course,
Yeah,
you know,
I
as
was
a
trying to stay
comedian, you would do
focused,
that,
yeah.
right? No, but as a comedian, you want to break everybody, right? It's like, oh, there's a serious one. That's going to be my target.
Yeah,
like,
I was
you're gonna crack her.
trying to crack her.
Yeah,
She's a little tough, but yeah, I got her to crack a
Well,
little
she,
smile.
she's
there.
on the job. She's doing her thing. So let me ask you a question. How long did it take you to overcome stuttering?
Actually, my stutter was like severe, so I mean, I've cured it, and I've came a long way since like childhood, since like I was like in grammar school, so maybe at least a decade. So, but like stand-up helped me overcome stuttering. You know?
It's very fascinating though if you think about it, because one would think that being in front of an audience would I guess initiate it or trigger it, because you would get nervous. And doesn't stuttering come from being nervous?
Yes.
And
yes.
You have an opposite effect. It's very fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, like stuttering, like it triggers so much fear, man, but also stand-up even triggers even more fear.
Right.
So it's kind of like a double negative, which is not positive, but like stand-up helped me overcome fear, which was a big step in overcoming stuttering, because because once you have less fear to talk and perform in front of people, that is like a big step, and then from there you could conquer anything. So that put me on the right path.
That's what's up. High five. Awesome.
Thank
Rob
you
Torres,
everybody.
Inspiring you guys out there who may have an impediment of some sort. You're hilarious. I love it. And you guys, for more on Rob Torres, you can visit his social media page by going to @RobTorres Comedy. And don't forget to check out Ahora Mismo comedy show that's happening on June 17th. And it's hosted by Rob Torres, and it's featuring comedians Victor Cruz and Brandon Marshall at Evo Lounge, located at 1306 Unionport Road in the Bronx, mi gente. That's our show today, mi gente. That's it.
Thank you,
to all our
everybody.
guests.
June 17th, check it out every month.
Of course, can't go out without at least doing one shout out. You want to shout out to Mom too? All right, no, you just it's all good. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, to your viewers for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios, and we'll see you next Friday.